I mentioned this to one of the workers here tonight, and I think that they think that maybe, or even to Stephen, I think I might have mentioned this to Stephen, and Stephen thinks maybe that's still going on now, but I don't feel like poets or novelists and artists are like, feel a tremendous attraction to each other. What do you think, George?
Yeah, well, I don't know, maybe the younger ones do and that we don't know about, but I don't see it being supported through the gallery system.
No, but I mean, where I've seen it before was through the gallery system.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know where I would have seen it otherwise.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I don't think. I don't see that happening today. You know.
Stephen.
Yeah.
Don't avoid us. Don't hide out. Come out here for a second because you're sponsoring some other events.
Thinking about what you're saying, and I just thought one question you might think about is why so many critics are in fact poets. You know, that's actually what I was thinking of.
Well, that's a whole other question. What do you think the answer to that is?
I just think that there's a natural empathy between creating succinct poetic wordplay and the appreciation of art.
Well, then to elaborate on that, I think what poetry does, and I think poets are art writers are jealous of painters because they make images and they're desperate to have their own primary form of expression, and they want to make images that are as in a weird way combining muteness and articulation, the way great artists can do. And I think critics get very jealous of that, and the only way they can do that is by going to poetry and hoping to construct a kind of web of images that will do the same thing in words.
Is that not like a case of the cart and the horse? Because the fact is, I think a lot of the art critics were poets in a developmental sense. I mean, they were poets first, and their art criticism came after.
That's very much the case, because in my case, I started out as a poet for a great many years, and then when I embarked upon art, I stopped writing poetry for 12 years during the time I was doing a certain kind of art practice. And then Joy one day, after I had finished that particular configuration of my life, Joy one day says to me, you know, Richard, you should resume your practice and go back to what you loved before. And I thought she was joking, or I thought she was just trying to, you know, I don't know, whatever. But and then sure enough, so you're right, you're absolutely right. That impulse was in the writing, right? The critical writing, the poetry, but it was really highly deflected, highly pushed aside because I was intimidated by it.
I think there's just natural sympathy between poets and painters. And I do, and I think that the fact is they both, I mean, on one level, first of all, they deal in a kind of exotic description, right? They deal in they're recording animals, basically, even if it's surrealist in a sense, you know, I mean, and so they have that, but, you know, one's maybe is a poet more like left brain, and the, you know, I mean, I don't know the exact, you know, mechanics of it per se, but I do think there's something about making cogent language, making language cogent and making pictures that is naturally sympathetic. And you get the people like, say, Kitai or something, where, you know, poetry, painting, and language come like get overlaid practically, or, you know, there are
Osai Twomley is a good example.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, so, you know, we've talked about
yeah,
that, I think.
yeah. Any other questions? Yes, Donna.
What about the way you put the poems in a place? I find that profoundly moving. That you tell us where we are
and what time,
on the map.
and what day.
Yes, that puts us right in a relationship with the earth and that place.
That's very true. I just want to tell you something. I always wondered about that myself, because I was giving something away. It was like giving away the tools of the trade. I always thought, what people are going to think so lowly of me that I did this poem in one day. Now, of course, you do go back and you do revise, and you never stop tweaking, but you do give away the fact that you, and I know, and it really, it's strange, Donna, because I always think, why do poets not want to remember as close as you can the day and the year and the place that they wrote this?
I just find it very generous, very generous and giving of you?
Yeah, well, I feel like it's about making myself as vulnerable as possible in the poem, because if I don't open myself up, why in God's name would anybody want to read the poem? I mean, if I put what I have to offer out there, why would the person not want to? Why would they want to enter? I want them to enter that space.
But you remind us that we're in the world.
Yes, yes.